All right, let me show you how to do the back seam on the Sophia Pencil Skirt. I have sewn up all along the bottom here. Mine has a little slit. This is the mini option, so it's a little shorter. Remember, when you sew along the bottom, your main fabric is a little bit longer than the lining pieces, so it will kind of pull to the underside just a little bit. They are right sides together, just like they were when I sewed along this bottom. And now what you're going to do is you're going to stick your arm in between the main and the lining all the way through. So you grab your back seam, pull it until it meets this back seam. So now they should be right sides together, and you're going to pin or clip them all along the back seam. I'm just going to stick my arm through one more time and grab the bottom hem and match it to the bottom hem on this side. So you should have lining to lining, main to main, and it's going to create kind of a circle, okay? I'm just shaking it out a little bit right here. Here we go. So again, lining to lining. Here's my little back notch to make sure I'm getting the back seam. And I'm just aligning those because why not? They're there. You can use them. And then just pinning and clipping along the whole circle. What we're going to do is we're only going to sew the bottom part here. And that's because we're going to put our zipper in the top. So when you grab your zip, I like to pin or clip all of it just to make sure it's nice and even, everything's lining up for me perfectly, things like that. But then I'm going to grab my zipper and I'm going to mark exactly where I want my stitching to start for that zipper. I mostly use 7 to 9 inches. It will depend on the difference between your waist and hip measurements and how tall you are, how long you need. 7 inches probably good for most people. If you have a super big difference between your waist and your hip, I have a size small waist and a size medium hip. I can still just barely get away with the 7 inch. The 9 inch is a little bit more comfortable for me. The 7 has got a squeeze on. So if that helps you, go for it. I am also tall, so I add an inch between my waist and my hip, which means I should probably add an inch to this zipper. So I think 7 inch will be plenty for most sewists. If you're worried about it, you can always go with the 9 first. See how it is on you. If you got a lot of room getting it on, you can try for the 7 inch. What I like to do is fold back my top zipper tape that is just excess. I like to heat it a little bit with a lighter and then hold it down. Just holds it in place for me. You can also baste it together if you don't like to burn the zipper tape and melt it into submission like me. So now I'm just going to align the very top of the zipper to the very top of it and measure down. I like to just cover my zipper stop. You can leave your zipper stop out and visible if you want. I like my stitching to start just above the zipper stop personally. Whatever you like. This is not an invisible zipper. You can do an invisible zipper if you want it to be. It'll be slightly harder. This is just a normal old 7 inch zipper. I also got some metal zippers for really thick fabric. I thought that would be cute. It's whatever you like the look of here. Okay, it is not sewn like an invisible zipper though. Usually when I do an invisible zipper, I will baste it together and then undo the basting so that the fabric goes all the way to the center. This is sewn a little bit where you can see the zipper teeth. So you can keep that in mind if that will bother you, if you can see a little bit of the zipper. All right, so right where I marked my zipper stop is where I'm going to start stitching on the lining. You can start on the lining or the main fabric, but you're going to go around the bottom in a U shape. We are not going to sew the top together. Just your normal 1/2 inch seam allowance here is what I use. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so I am not boring anybody. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a good press. Okay, so we're just going to press these seam allowances open, and then we're also going to press the unsewn areas under 1/2 inch. So when you press these seam allowances open, it's going to give you that 1/2 inch because we just used a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And we're just going to continue that 1/2 inch up this unsewn area and give it a nice press on all the remaining raw edges. So I'm going to go to my iron and do that, and then we'll be putting in the zipper after that.